What if the most valuable thing in your house right now is sitting in a dusty jar, hiding in plain sight as an ordinary old penny? Welcome and stay with me, because today we're talking about a Lincoln wheat cent that passed through the hands of soldiers, factory workers, and everyday Americans during one of the most transformative moments in modern history. And some rare surviving examples have quietly sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars to collectors who knew exactly what they were looking. Errors, identification, auction records, and collector demand. Now comes the part that turns an ordinary-looking penny into something collectors dream about. But here's where things get interesting. Most people assume every 1926 wheat penny is the same. They see a worn copper coin, toss it into a jar, and never think twice. Yet seasoned collectors know that tiny differences created during the minting process can transform an ordinary 1-cent coin into a prized collectible. A small die crack, an off-center strike, a dramatic lamination error, or an exceptionally well-preserved example can send values climbing far beyond face value. This tiny detail could change everything, and it all starts with learning exactly what to look for before that forgotten penny slips back into circulation. The first step is confirming that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. A genuine Philadelphia issue from 1926 has no mint mark beneath the date on the obverse. If you see a D or an S, you're looking at a different issue altogether. Next, examine the color. Original coins displaying rich red mint luster are far scarcer than the brown examples most people encounter. Collectors classify these cents as brown, red-brown, or full red, and that single designation can mean the difference between a modest collectible and one worth thousands of dollars. Most people never notice this because decades of circulation naturally darken the copper surface, leaving true mint-red survivors remarkably scarce. Condition is equally important. Under a magnifying glass, inspect Lincoln's cheek, jawline, beard, and coat. On the reverse, pay close attention to the wheat ears and the lettering around 1 cent and United States of America. Sharp details with minimal wear indicate a higher grade coin. Even more valuable are coins showing strong original strike quality, clean surfaces, and very few contact marks. These are the pieces that serious collectors compete for when they appear at auction. What happened next shocked collectors as specialists began discovering striking errors that escaped the mint's quality control nearly a century ago. One of the most desirable is an off-center strike. When the blank planchet isn't perfectly aligned during striking, part of the design is missing, while the remaining details are fully struck. If the date remains visible, these dramatic mistakes often attract strong bidding because no two examples look exactly alike. Another fascinating error is the lamination error. During production, impurities or flaws within the copper alloy occasionally caused thin layers of metal to peel or split away after striking. Instead of damaging the coin, these natural mint-made flaws actually increase collector interest because they reveal the manufacturing process frozen in time. Their unusual appearance makes them easy conversation pieces in any collection. Collectors also search for die cracks and retained cut errors. These occur when a working die develops fractures after repeated use. As metal flows into the cracked section of the die, raised lines or unusual blobs appear on the finished coin. Every crack tells the story of a die slowly wearing out under tremendous pressure, making each example slightly different from the next. Another category involves clipped planchets. Before striking, coin blanks were punched from large copper sheets. Occasionally, a blank was cut too close to the edge of another blank, leaving a curved section missing. When struck, the finished coin displays a distinctive clip that experts can identify as a genuine mint error rather than post-mint damage. Authentic clipped planchet cents continue to enjoy strong collector demand because they clearly demonstrate a mistake made before the coin ever entered circulation. Of course, not every unusual-looking coin is valuable. Environmental corrosion, harsh cleaning, scratches, filing, and chemical damage can easily be mistaken for mint errors. In fact, countless wheat pennies have lost much of their value because someone tried polishing them until they looked shiny. Experienced collectors almost always prefer an untouched original surface over a cleaned coin. That is why preserving a coin exactly as it was found is often the smartest decision. Auction records prove just how important condition can be. A heavily circulated 1926 Philadelphia wheat cent is generally affordable, often selling for only a few dollars depending on its grade. Attractive uncirculated brown or red-brown examples can reach several $100s. But when an exceptionally preserved full red specimen with outstanding eye appeal appears in a major auction, bidding becomes much more competitive. Certified mint state red examples have realized several $1,000s, with the finest known pieces selling for well over $10,000 when exceptional quality and rarity come together. The value may leave you speechless because these prices are driven not by age alone, but by preservation, originality, and collector demand. That demand continues to grow because the 1926 wheat penny represents an important era in American coinage. Many examples spent decades in everyday commerce, leaving relatively few pristine survivors for modern collectors. Every year, more people begin assembling complete Lincoln wheat cent collections, and every serious collection requires a high-quality 1926 Philadelphia example. As the supply of original coins shrinks and interest remains strong, premium quality pieces become even harder to acquire. Before you celebrate finding one, remember that counterfeiters also recognize the popularity of Lincoln wheat cents. Some altered coins have dates changed from more common years, while others have repaired surfaces intended to hide damage. Always compare the date, lettering, weight, edge, and overall appearance with genuine examples. If your coin appears unusually sharp, unusually valuable, or displays an unusual error, professional authentication can make all the difference between a remarkable discovery and an expensive mistake. And believe it or not, we've still saved the most surprising part for last. Hidden within the design of this humble penny are details that many collectors overlook completely, and one of those tiny clues has helped identify some of the finest and most desirable 1926 wheat pennies ever discovered. In the next part, we'll reveal those hidden secrets, uncover the highest value examples ever sold, and explain why one forgotten penny could become the greatest treasure hiding in an old collection. Next up. Powerful hook, coin introduction, historical background, and design features. Imagine reaching into an old coffee can filled with dusty pennies collected by your grandparents. You sift through hundreds of ordinary-looking coins until one small copper cent catches your eye. The date reads 1931, and something feels different. It has no mint mark beneath the date, making it a Philadelphia issue. At first glance, it seems like just another wheat penny worth a single cent. But what if that tiny coin has survived one of the toughest economic periods in American history? What if collectors across the country have spent decades searching for beautifully preserved examples? And what if one small detail, so tiny that most people overlook it, could send its value soaring into the thousands of dollars? But here's where things get interesting. The true story of the 1931 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just about copper and history. It's about survival, rarity in top condition, and the incredible journey of a coin that has quietly waited nearly a century to be rediscovered. Stay with me, because the value reveal near the end may leave you speechless. 1931 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint during one of the darkest chapters in American history, the Great Depression. Businesses were closing, unemployment was soaring, and families saved every penny they could. Millions of these cents entered circulation, passing from hand to hand in grocery stores, barbershops, schools, and small-town banks. Most became heavily worn from everyday use, making sharply preserved examples surprisingly difficult to find today. While the San Francisco issue from the same year is famous for its low mintage, the Philadelphia coin has earned respect among collectors because outstanding mint state examples are much scarcer than many people realize. The design of the coin is both simple and unforgettable. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln facing to the right, a portrait introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of his birth. Above his head appears the word "In God We Trust," while liberty rests to the left and the date, 1931, appears on the right. Because this is a Philadelphia issue, there is no mint mark beneath the date. Most people never notice this tiny missing detail, yet it instantly tells experienced collectors where the coin was struck. Turn the coin over, and you'll find one of the most beloved reverse designs in American numismatic history. Two elegant wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, symbolizing America's agricultural strength and prosperity. Across the top is EPLUOBUSUNUM, tying the entire design together. The rich copper color, paired with the classic wheat ears, has made this reverse one of the most recognizable coin designs ever produced. Every genuine 1931 Philadelphia wheat penny weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and is composed of 95% copper with 5% tin and zinc. These specifications remain standard for Lincoln cents of the era. This tiny detail could change everything because counterfeiters and altered coins often fail to match these precise measurements. Even a small difference in weight or appearance can signal that further examination is needed. At first glance, this coin may seem ordinary, but what happened next shocked collectors as they discovered that certain 1931 no-mint mark wheat pennies possessed remarkable mint-made errors, extraordinary preservation, and auction records that transformed a 1-cent coin into a prized collectible. In the next section, we'll uncover the rare errors, valuable varieties, and hidden characteristics that make some of these pennies worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Next up. Powerful hook, coin introduction, historical background, and design features. Have you ever looked at an old wheat penny and wondered if it was hiding a secret worth thousands of dollars? Imagine opening a dusty coin jar that's been sitting untouched for decades. You sift through dozens of ordinary copper cents until one catches your eye. The date reads 1935, and beneath it is a tiny S mint mark. Most people would never think twice about it. They might spend it, toss it back into the jar, or overlook it completely. But here's where things get interesting. That small letter S could be the beginning of an incredible story. A story of history, survival, and collector demand that has grown stronger with every passing decade. What happened next shocked collectors as they realized that some 1935 S wheat pennies weren't just old coins. They were remarkable survivors with rare minting characteristics, exceptional condition, and auction prices that seemed almost impossible for a 1-cent coin. Stay with me until the very end, because one tiny detail could change everything, and the highest values may leave you speechless. The 1935 S Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint during the slow recovery from the Great Depression. America was rebuilding, families carefully counted every penny they earned, and these copper coins became an essential part of everyday life. Millions entered circulation, passing through grocery stores, train stations, restaurants, and neighborhood banks. Because they were used so heavily, relatively few survived with their original mint luster. That simple fact is one of the biggest reasons collectors eagerly search for beautiful examples today. On the front of the coin, Abraham Lincoln faces to the right in Victor David Brenner's timeless portrait. Above his head appears the inspiring motto, "In God We Trust." To the left is the word liberty, while the date, 1935, is positioned on the right. Directly beneath the date is the small S mint mark, identifying the San Francisco Mint as its place of origin. Most people never notice this tiny detail, yet experienced collectors know that this little letter is one of the first clues to determining the coin's identity and potential desirability. Turn the coin over, and the reverse displays the classic wheat ears design that made the Lincoln Wheat Cent one of America's most beloved coins. Two graceful wheat stalks frame the inscriptions, 1 cent, and United States of America, symbolizing the nation's agricultural strength. Across the top is the national motto, EPLUOBUSUNUM. Even after nearly 90 years, the elegant simplicity of this design continues to capture the attention of collectors around the world. Every genuine 1935 S wheat penny was struck in 95% copper with 5% tin and zinc, weighs approximately 3.11 grams, and measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter. Those measurements are more important than many people realize. This tiny detail could change everything because counterfeit coins and altered examples often fail to match the correct weight, diameter, or appearance. Careful examination is one of the first steps professionals use when evaluating a potentially valuable coin. Although the 1935 S is not considered one of the rarest wheat cents by mintage alone, finding one with razor-sharp details, blazing original red color, and virtually no signs of circulation is surprisingly difficult. As decades passed, countless examples became worn, cleaned, damaged, or melted, leaving only a small number of exceptional survivors. That growing scarcity in top grades has made high-quality 1935 cents increasingly attractive to collectors. At first glance, this coin may appear to be just another old penny, but don't let its humble appearance fool you. Hidden within this historic cent are fascinating mint eras, valuable varieties, and remarkable auction stories that have transformed ordinary-looking pennies into prized collectibles. In the next section, we'll uncover the rare mistakes, reveal exactly how to identify the most valuable examples, and explain why some 1935 wheat pennies have sold for thousands of dollars, while others remain worth only a few cents. Next up. Powerful hook, coin introduction, historical background, and design features. Have you ever ignored an old wheat penny because it looked too common to be worth anything? Imagine finding a small copper coin tucked inside an inherited coin album, forgotten in the back of a dresser drawer, or buried beneath years of loose change in an old glass jar. At first glance, it seems ordinary. The date reads 1939, and beneath it, nothing. No mint mark at all. Most people would assume it's just another penny worth a single cent. But here's where things get interesting. That missing mint mark tells an important story, and in the world of coin collecting, one tiny detail can separate an everyday coin from a highly desirable collectible. What happened next shocked collectors as beautifully preserved 1939 Philadelphia wheat pennies began setting impressive auction records. Some examples that once bought a piece of candy are now worth hundreds, and in extraordinary condition, even thousands of dollars. This tiny detail could change everything, especially if you have old coin jars, inherited collections, or forgotten bank rolls waiting to be searched. Stay with me until the end, because the highest value examples may leave you speechless. The 1939 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny was produced at the Philadelphia Mint during a fascinating period in American history. The nation was slowly emerging from the hardships of the Great Depression, while events unfolding overseas hinted that another global conflict was approaching. Pennies remained an essential part of everyday commerce, passing through grocery stores, post offices, movie theaters, and neighborhood shops. Millions of these coins entered circulation, but very few escaped decades of wear with their original brilliance intact. That is exactly why collectors continue searching for exceptional survivors nearly a century later. The obverse features Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. Above his head appears the inspiring motto, "In God We Trust." The word liberty sits proudly to the left, while the date 1939 appears on the right. Directly beneath the date, you'll notice something many people never notice. There is no mint mark. That absence confirms the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Most people overlook this small detail, but experienced collectors recognize it immediately as one of the first steps in identifying the coin correctly. Turn the coin over, and you'll discover the famous wheat ears reverse that collectors have admired for generations. Two beautifully detailed wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, representing America's agricultural heritage. Above them appears the national motto, EPLUIBUSUNUM. The balanced design, rich copper color, and elegant simplicity have made the wheat penny one of the most recognizable coins ever produced by the United States Mint. Every genuine 1939 Philadelphia wheat penny was struck using an alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and features a plain edge. These specifications may seem ordinary, but they are among the first characteristics experts examine when authenticating a valuable coin. Counterfeit pieces, altered dates, and damaged coins often fail to match the correct weight, dimensions, or overall appearance. Although the 1939 no-mint mark wheat penny is not a low-mintage rarity, finding one with blazing original red luster, razor-sharp details, and virtually no signs of circulation is surprisingly difficult. Most examples spent decades changing hands before collectors recognized their importance. As a result, pristine survivors have become increasingly desirable, with demand continuing to grow as more collectors attempt to complete high-grade Lincoln Wheat cent collections. At first glance, this may seem like just another old penny, but don't let appearances fool you. Hidden beneath its simple design are fascinating mint errors, scarce varieties, remarkable auction stories, and tiny identifying details that have turned some 1939 no-mint mark wheat pennies into prized collectibles worth far more than 1 cent. In the next section, we'll uncover the rare errors, reveal how to identify the most valuable examples, and explain why certain 1939 pennies have captured the attention of collectors around the world.